Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Wes Foster. And what we're going to talk about is 5 different ways to profit from a single real estate investment deal. Guys, remember, here at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, really all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. We do that by providing tools and resources to help you grow the business you want to build and live the life that you want to live. Wes, welcome to our show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm having a lot of fun being here.
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you taking the time out, and I'm super excited to hear about the 5 ways to make money, because everybody likes to make money off a deal.
Right.
But before we get into all that, get into the weeds, tell our folks a little bit about yourself, right? Where you came from, what your background is, how you got into real estate, and what got you here.
Yeah, thanks. I've been a pastor the last 27 years, and that has been a roller coaster journey in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Way back in the day, whenever my wife and I were studying in seminary and preparing for being a pastor, I wanted to make sure that who I was behind a pulpit was the same out of the pulpit. I wanted my words and my walk to align. So I did a very dangerous prayer, and I said, Lord, how can I live in such a way that it would be integrous to you and honor you? And lo and behold, he said something to me that scared the mess out of me. He said, for the next 20 years, I want you to give everything away. And I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew that my wife probably needed to be on board with that.
Right.
So she was out at a women's retreat, and I called her and said, hey, I kind of heard something this morning about how we're supposed to live. I said, I think you probably need to be in agreement with this for us to go forward. And she says, well, actually, I heard something this morning too. And I said, well, write it down. And when you get back from the women's retreat, we'll just compare notes and take it from there. And she got home the next day, she opened up her notebook, and right there across the top, it said, for the next 20 years, give everything away.
Wow.
And so we didn't know what that looked like. We just decided that every month we would take our bank accounts to zero, helping as many people as we could. And so we helped orphans and widows and built orphanages and water wells. And over
God
those,
bless you.
20 plus years, we brought 13 adopted kids through our house, put them through college, trade schools, whatever that they wanted to do. Needless to say, it wasn't hard to empty out the accounts every month.
Right.
But here we were last year, right about this time, right about middle of March. And we thought, we need to start thinking about retirement at some point. We're almost 50. I'll turn 49 next month. And so we decided real estate investing would be that thing that we would do.
Cool.
And so we prayed. We didn't know how to get started. We went to a couple of courses, a couple of seminars, and none of them really were any good. It was mainly about selling something that they were doing or adopting their method. It really wasn't. It was more about building their wealth than it was about building our wealth.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I know there's a lot of great things out there, but the ones we went to were kind of suspect at best. But that's how we kind of got started, and that's my background.
Where did you get the tip to go? Did you have, has real estate been a conversation for you guys in the past?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And by the way, so I take it you're the guy in the story where you would ask Jesus, how do I get in heaven? And he said, give everything away. That was you guys.
That was us.
Now I can put a name to a face. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
But really, I mean, going from pastoral work to real estate, I mean, were there people in your ear? Have you been studying this for a while?
Have not been studying it at all. In fact, I was a youth pastor for about 15 years during that 25. And I had some old youth students reach out to me. They were now adults. One was a business litigation lawyer. One was a general contractor. They're two brothers. And both had gone and played football and one at University of Texas. And they said, hey, we want to start a real estate investment company, and we would like for you to kind of be the face of the franchise. And we've been looking for deals, but we can't find any. And I said, okay, well, what type of deals are you looking for? And they says, well, we want you to find off-market deals. And I said, well, what's an off-market deal? And he says, well, it's houses that are not on the market and nobody knows, where they're at or how to find them.
Right.
It's people who are distressed that don't know they have a solution to their problem. And I said, okay, well, how do I find these deals? I said, they're off market. Nobody knows about them. They said, well, that's what we want you to do. And I was like, well, okay. I said, do you have any videos I could watch? Because I've never even heard of off market. I've never heard of that.
I want to find those too.
I'm telling you.
How?
Yeah, right. And they said, so they sent me 3 videos from Bigger Pockets.
Okay.
And so I watched those 3 videos, and in a couple of weeks, I found them a couple of really incredible deals. I kind of discovered that I was pretty good at connecting with people. I mean, I guess a pastor would have a good job, connecting and things. So I was pretty convincing on the phone with negotiations. It always works when you threaten hell on people. They just give you anything. No, I'm kidding.
Here's my checkbook.
But found them 2 great deals, and they said, hey, we want you to go to school. So they paid for me to go to real estate school, and I got my license last May, and just have been running and gunning ever since.
What were these videos on? Were they on lead gen? Were they on disposition? Acquisitions? What specific topics were these? Basically,
they were on the Burr method, on how to, because these guys wanted to do buy and holds.
Yep.
And so they wanted to find those types of properties. And so once I watched a couple of those videos, then I was able to ask questions of, okay, I don't know how to do this part or how to do that part. So it was real easy to search a term and find another video that helped me out.
Okay.
But it was about, and then I found out that wholesalers could be a great tool. My son, he also got his real estate license with me. I asked him after this conversation, literally that night from these guys, I said, how do I find off-market deals? He said, go find a Facebook group. He said, I bet there's Facebook groups out there that talk about this stuff, and just make a post asking for it. So I found like 4 or 5 groups here in the Houston, Texas area that they've got 40, 50, 60,000 members in them. And I just made a couple of posts and said, hey, I'm a brand new investor. I'm looking to buy off-market deals. We have well-qualified proof of funds, everything ready to go. We just need the deal. And I had an inbox full of deals to evaluate, and it was that simple. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So how long did it take you to get that first one or find the first contract?
For the first deal we signed within 3 weeks. It was in 19 days.
Wow. What kind of deal was it?
It was a deal out of Galveston, off-market deal. They wanted $230,000 for it. It was too much money. And so I just told them, I respect what you guys do, and I'm not going to lowball you on anything. Where we need the property to be is pretty far under where you guys are asking. I said, so hopefully you guys can find, another buyer. And they gave me a little nugget. They reached out and they says, well, this is the last day of our contract. I said, we only have these for like 7 days.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And so we'll either lose the property altogether or we can just toss out your offer. And so I said, well, I really don't want to do this because I think you guys work hard and I think you guys do a great work. And I don't like to, lowball. And they says, well, hey, maybe they'll take it. Right. I said, okay, well, we need to be, at 170 is where we need to be. And I was like,
well, that's 60, not too 000, much lower. I thought you were going to drop like 130. So, yeah, that's where I thought you were going. I'm going, woo.
Well, they came back at like 215. I just said politely, sorry, we can't make it work for that. Then they were negotiating with themselves from that point on. They came back at 205 and they came back at 280, and we decided to go ahead and stick at 280 and pick up that property there. And once we got our lender on it, we got an appraisal back. We purchased at 180 and the appraisal came back at 450.
Ooh.
So it was a pretty good first deal. It needed a lot of work.
How much rehab?
117,000. That one was pretty, but this was a perfect buy and hold because it had a lot of equity capture. The primary unit was a 3-bedroom 2, and we converted it into a 4-bedroom, and then it had a duplex in the back that were 2-bedroom 1 baths. Mm-hmm. So it was a cash flowing property with the market rents. The mortgage was about $2,600 with all the holding costs, and the cash flow was a little over $5,200.
Oh, wow. Now, okay, so you're an employee of theirs, is that correct? Or are you a partner with theirs?
Partner.
Yep. Okay, so you guys are splitting everything 50-50, or how are you getting, like if they're bringing the funds, you bring the deal, you just 50-50, whatever the profit is?
The way that it works with our little company, and this is what I kind of started learning, and I branched off since then and have developed relationships with other investors and doing a little bit different. But with this first company, they would provide me a finder's fee for finding the property.
Okay.
So it was off market. We didn't do a commission or a 3%. We just did a flat like $4,000 finder's fee. Mm-hmm. And then I would be the listing agent on the back end, of course, when everything was said and done.
Got it.
That was they were generous with that. They gave me a 4% commission on the back end, which was very nice.
Yes.
And then in the middle on this particular property, I think I'm 29% equity partner.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So you got money at the beginning. You got money pretty much going through the whole. That's a great deal. Great partners. What do you think were some of the biggest challenges getting into this that you came across?
Learning that not all wholesalers are honest with their numbers.
I would probably generalize that to say not all people know their numbers.
You're absolutely right. We found our very first deal. That was actually our first official deal. Our first deal we tried to lock up was a property that had an incredible ARV on it and looked like it was a great deal, great spread down in a very popular low days on market area in Houston called the Heights. And we found out that they were planning on renovating the part of the garage and making an ADU back there, and they included that square foot and bedrooms inside the primary unit. And so they pushed the ARV up based upon that. So it read like it was a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, like a 2,600 square foot place, which in that area would have brought a premium ARV. Now, even in that area is about a 550, 575 ARV, and the property was, I think, going for about 250. And so it would, with even the rehab, we would have still been at under a 70% deal.
Yeah.
But we put our 5,000 EMD down on that. And when the appraiser came out, he was like, this is not what you guys said. And the property came back at like literally mid threes, low threes. And so it just wasn't a deal at all.
Could you have put the money in to finish what she was going to do to get the value up, or would that not even if you did finish, it would have not got the value up to where you needed
it wouldn't.
It to be?
And the appraiser just said, quite frankly, he said to get an over 500K ARV in this area, the land has got to be valuable.
Got it.
He said that the property itself can be good and it can be nice. He said, but if the land's not valuable, you're just not going to get that market. And so even if we put in all the work, and that's when we decided it just wouldn't going to be worth it. I think they came back tops at like 380.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
The property was going for like 275, 280, I believe. Mm-hmm. So with the amount of, it needed about 85, 100K worth of rehab. The money just wasn't there.
Okay. So how long have you been working for these guys or with these guys?
We did 2 properties at the very beginning, and they're kind of still in those properties. And I have since attracted some other investors, created several other LLCs, and have been out, kind of doing my own thing since.
So are you basically just kind of getting these properties and assigning them? Pretty much just wholesaling these things?
Yes, sir. Whenever a new investor comes, I offer several different benefits to them with what we do. Number one, we always run appraiser comps on all of our properties because if the deal's not viable, if it doesn't appraise, it doesn't matter who tells me it's a $350,000 property. If the appraisal's $270,000, they're going to have to bring a lot of money cash to close. Right. And so I try to have our investor with about a 5% down payment, no credit check with the lenders that we use down here in Houston. But we do like about 5% down, which is just equity. I try to keep everything under $20,000 to $25,000 out of pocket for them at closing, which is fair and good, especially on flips. That works out really, really well.
Yeah.
But so I have the finder's fee at the beginning. So we're kind of getting into the 5 ways.
That's what I was going to mention. Are these any of the ways? Yeah. Okay, let's start talking about that. Okay, go ahead.
So the 5 different ways that you can cash flow on any deal with an investor in an off-market deal. You can do it on market. It's just a little more tricky to because they can see some of the prices online.
Right.
Off-market, they can't see some of the deals coming through with wholesalers, so you can assign them a little bit. But they'll find me, give me a finder's fee. Right now I'm doing $5,000 finder's fee. That's gone up a little bit because I've increased my scope of work of what I do on the front end by running appraiser comps and then working up a full deal sheet so they have a multiple exit strategy on any property. I always give them at least 3 different exit strategies on what they do. And so the finder's fee is the number one way that I get paid. And as soon as they send in their EMD, that's when they'll send me the finder's fee. I don't wait for it to close. I don't wait for it to fund. They just send me that right away because my work is done. They've liked the property. They put a down payment on it. Yeah. They've signed the contract. So that part of my work is finished. And so they'll pay me on that part. And then with our lenders down here, I get a referral fee if they use one of our lenders. They don't have to if they've already been pre-qualified. That's great. And I'll work with anybody. But our lenders don't do any credit check. They just do about a 5% down. And if the scope of work comes in right, depending on the lender, I get anywhere from $500 to $2,500. One lender gives me $500. And then on their next 4 deals, even if I'm not a part of them, they'll still send me a $500 referral that daisy chains through. So I really like that. That's great because I just get random checks. That's always nice. So that's the second way that I'll get paid on a deal is through a lender referral.
Okay.
And then I can, if the numbers are really, really good, and if they fit the buy box for the investor, then I can make an assignment from the wholesaler to them. And usually what I'll do is I want to make sure that the investor is happy with what they want in their property. And so I'll ask what's their minimum return they want to see at the very end when everything closes, everything's funded, everything's paid. What's the money they want to see in their bank account at the end? If they tell me they want to see $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, then I'll find properties that meet that. And so if I'm evaluating the deal and I see that there's a 60,000 spread, 70,000 spread, 80,000 spread at the back end, which here in Houston, the market is extremely hot. And we find I'm getting a dozen or more of those deals every week, which is incredible. Then I'll mark up 10 grand on that property. And let's say an investor wants a $30,000 profit at the end. And I found a deal that's got a 60,000 spread on it the profit at the end, I'll mark it up 10 grand for myself, and I'll present them a $50,000 property, and they are elated.
Oh,
And of
yeah.
course, they never see, that assignment fee. That's one of the fees that they don't know about
Right.
when I do it. And again, I don't do that on every property, and it's not that much on every property. I have marked up a property as much as 40,000. An investor said he just wanted a 40,000 profit. This one had 100,000 spread.
Oh, wow.
So I put a 40,000 assignment on it. I gave him a $60,000 property. He took me to a steak dinner, and it was fantastic.
Hey, that works.
So I can make an assignment. That's the third way.
Yep.
Is an assignment fee on that off-market deal from a wholesaler if the numbers are good and it works for the investors. And then we bring a service to everybody where if they're new and they're not connected with investor-friendly contractors, then I offer that service that I'll oversee the entire project for them.
Okay.
That I will bring my contractors, my subs, everybody, because our team specializes, our entire real estate team, in working with investors and helping them scale and build wealth. And so we've got incredible contractors that are ready to deploy at a moment's notice. And I'll tell them I'll oversee the entire project. I'll be the main communicator between you and them. You don't have to worry about any of the monies. You don't have to worry about any of the problems. I'll just shoulder
So
all
you're
of
going to
that.
be passing out the draws and doing all that stuff?
It depends how it's set up. If it's run through some investors want to run it through my LLC. And if that's the case, then the draws are in my name and I'll work them.
Right.
If not, then I'll get their username password for their lender. I'll set up the draw. They can go in and sign and push the pay me button. And so we just work hand in hand with that.
Okay.
So that's the fourth way that I can get paid way I get paid with that is an equity portion. And I tell them that for me to provide this service, I'm going to be saving you a minimum of 30% on your rehab budget and cost. And I'm also going to do it in about half the time because my guys are very good and they're very quick and they do A-level work. And I said, so your holding costs are going to go down and your cost for the actual rehab is going to go down by about 30%. And I said, for that, I'll need a minimum of a 25% equity play in the property that you'll pay me out of the profits at the end. And that will go anywhere from 25 to 45. And what I do is I make sure, and this is smart for anybody that's going to work this kind of a playbook, that make sure that the money the investor sees that he's paying you is not more than his profits at the end. Okay, so he pays me the $4,000 or $5,000 at the beginning. He doesn't know about the lender referral. He doesn't know about the assignment, but he will know about the equity portion, and he will know about the 3% commission as the listing agent.
Right.
And so if the finder's fee and listing agent fee is going to be more than what his profits are going to be with a 25%, then I will play with that number a little bit to make sure that he's getting paid more than what he sees on paper me getting paid.
Got it. Okay.
And so that's four. And then lastly would be the listing agent at the back end.
When you're going out and finding these investors, right? I mean, do you obviously maybe don't tell them some of the referral fees and stuff that you get paid, but do you share any of this with them? Like, this is kind of how my process is. So just to kind of, get ahead of anything that might come down the chute.
I do. I let them know, if there's an assignment and I'm good friends with them, I'll tell them there's an assignment. And I'll just remind them that, you wanted a $30,000 profit at the end. This still is a $50,000 profit for you. So I marked it up a little bit for me. And they're normally totally happy with that. They don't usually have any trouble. So I over communicate everything. And I also tell the investor, listen, if you want to be in this full time, if you want to do this for the rest of your life, I encourage you to get your real estate license. And then you can start making those transaction fees on the back end. You can pay yourself that extra 3% and join our real estate team, get connected with all of our contractors, and then you don't have to pay me the equity. And so I'm recruiting investors to our team on the weekly. Just because it's better for them. They'll see the process with me and they'll see it all pan out with me. And then I'll say, now listen, on this deal, let me show you how much money I really made. And then I'll open the books and I'll show them and I'll say, you need to be a real estate agent. You need to join our team. It's really the best plan for you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and once again, I like how you're setting it up front, right? How much do you want? Are you looking to make on this? So if you do have the opportunity to make more, it's like, hey, look, I mean, you're okay if I make a little bit of money. You're making what you want to make, right?
Yep.
And they're usually happy with it, as long as you disclose and do all that, man. I mean, that's okay. So just to kind of recap, we got finder's fee. We have what's the number 2 is a referral from your lender.
Referral from lenders.
We got assignment fee from wholesaler.
Yep.
We have a referral from contractors.
That would be an equity
The
play.
equity play, and then the fifth one is your 3% commission.
There you go.
Sounds like you got it all figured out, kind of.
I've been averaging 30. So here's the key. I've been averaging about 30 to 35,000 per deal.
Nice.
When they all play out, and this is with zero risk on my behalf. Remember, when I had no money to start, nothing. Yeah. So I had to use investors' money. They qualify for their loan. The loan is in their name most of the time. I now have an LLC. Some of them want to run it through that, and that's okay. But with absolute zero risk. I'm not laying out any money. I'm not laying out any credit. I'm just using other people's money and using investors' money and leveraging that deal in order to build up a pretty nice base of capital. Done over $4 million in transactions the last 7 months, and have captured about $500,000 in equity.
Sweet. So you're not spending any money on marketing or anything like that?
I've just now built out a website, and I just started doing some socials where I'm paying like $100 a reel to have them scripted, and I'll do the filming, and then they'll edit it and they'll post. But that's about it. Now I don't even have SEO or anything like that. I've just literally been going onto Facebook and just posting, hey, I'm a real estate agent that works with what I say is a private group of well-qualified investors. If you like to find high equity off deals, send me a message and let's see what we can do. And they literally just knock down my door, and I'll send them a couple of deals. And I don't have any contracts written up with anybody. I'm sure somebody may take advantage of that one day, but as of right now, it's just a handshake deal. I'm bringing them a dump truck full of money. If they want to abuse that and do me wrong, then I'm just not going to back up any more trucks for them.
Yeah, about to say, I just stopped driving the truck over there then.
There you go.
Well, man, Wes, you got a nice little business going there, and I love the fact that it was a hey, I got to make something happen type of situation, and you made it happen, which is freaking awesome.
Thanks.
If anybody wants to reach out to you and talk about this, maybe just pick your brain on the whole situation, how do they get in touch?
Several different ways. They can hit me up through my website, which is propertykings.co. Not .com, just propertykings.co. You can also send me an email at Wes, WES, at propertykings.co, or on Instagram, same thing, instagram.com/propertykings.co. I'm everywhere, all the time.
Sweet. And we'll put all the contact information in the show notes. So when we get this published, everybody will be able to get in touch. But Wes, thank you so much, guys. I hope you took some notes. There were some good nuggets in there. I mean, I know there's a couple things that I think I can implement. Wes, thank you.
Hey, thanks, John. You
folks, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.